In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to test new Facebook ads in 2025. And this is the exact setup that I used that has allowed me to take this brand and scale them from $70,000 a month to over $900,000 in a single month. And this was all done using a very, very simple setup. So I'm about to save you if you are a Shopify brand that is currently struggling to understand how the best way to test Facebook ads is and to actually find new winners in your account. Then I'm about to save you anywhere from like 5 to 20 grand in ad agency fees, because this is exactly what they're charging you for. And so I'm just going to give it to you away for free. So again, this is exactly how I was able to scale this brand, basically scale their account in one campaign. And we basically, not quadrupled, we tripled their ad spend. So they went from 78,000. And then within the next month, we were up to 323,000. And this is how we did the testing. And let's not waste any time, jump straight into the video. So campaign budget optimization. Let's start with defining what this is, because this is one of the most underrated and underappreciated features inside of Facebook. When it comes to budget allocation, there's really two main ways you can go about it. Number one is to adopt the paradigm that you are smarter than Facebook. And number two is to adopt the paradigm that Facebook is smarter than you. And so campaign budget optimization is basically the allocation of budget, whereby Facebook is distributing budget to the ad sets that are the highest performing. So very simply, if we separate or if we create a CBO campaign, we can trust that the budget is always going to, and the preference of the budget is always going to go to the best performing ad sets. So understanding that this is functionally how CBO works, if we give Facebook two sets of ad sets, then it's going to give preference to the best performing ad sets. And if those ad sets contain different sets of creatives, then in theory, that campaign, based on the allocation of budget to the best performing ad sets, is thereby allocating budget to the best performing creatives. So in a CBO environment where creatives have to earn spend from one another by being a better performing ad set and a better possible investment for your ad dollars, then setting up your testing campaign in this way is basically giving Facebook all the creatives and allowing Facebook and giving it full control as to what the best possible allocation of budget is, and most effective allocation of budget is to achieve your campaign objective, which if you set it up correctly is going to be conversions at the lowest cost, highest volume, or potentially conversions at a target CPA goal. So when it comes to how to structure your campaign for testing and how to test new ads, what you want to do is you want to create a CBO campaign. You want to have one ad set that has all of your best performing ads. Take everything that's ever made you money at scale. So you're going to go into your ad account, you're going to go filter by maximum spend. And then from there, you're going to see the ads that have produced the best CPAs. And then from there, take those and put them into one portfolio ad set that's going to be your winners. And this is going to be your ad set that is essentially, this is your, if you ever played like King of the Hill in basketball, this is like your top dog. Every new ad test that you run has to earn spend from these winners, from this winner's ad set, from this portfolio of high performing ads. When you test in an ABO campaign and your ads that you're testing in small $25 to $50 budgets, you wait for them to get 3 to 4 purchases. And then what happens? You put them into a quote scaling campaign and it completely falls off a cliff. This is because those new ad sets are not having to compete for spend against anything. And when you run those ad sets on a lowest cost, highest volume, you're basically saying, take all these to Facebook, take all these unproven assets. There is no, I don't care what results you get me because it's lowest cost, highest volume. I don't care what results you get me. You don't have to earn spend. You don't have to be approved to be a better possible investment than any of my current best performing ads. Just go out there. And based loosely on attribution, which is inherently flawed, I as the media buyer am going to determine whether or not you graduate into a scaling campaign. And this methodology is prehistoric. It is completely flawed. And if there's anyone telling you, or if you being pitched by agencies that are telling you that they have this testing process that is based on this inherently flawed concept of attribution, then run in the opposite direction. What you want to do instead is create a CBO campaign whereby you give or you're testing and launching new ad sets in this campaign, and that new ad set is going to be right next to your portfolio collection of winning ads. And if that portfolio collection of winning ads takes up all the spend and then you test doesn't get any spend, great. That means by definition of CBO, those new ad sets that you launched probably were not as good as you thought they were. In fact, let's be honest, they were probably pretty shit. And 99% of the time, your ad just fucking sucks. That's a quote from Peter Kell, and one of the largest VSL people on the planet. And it's true, 99% of the time your ad just fucking sucks. So if you launch new ad sets and new creative tests and they don't get spend, that is because Facebook's giving more preference to the best performing ad sets, which means your new ads are not a better investment for your ad dollars compared to your portfolio of winning ads. So why would you want the spend to go to those unproven ads? So you can get data. Guess what? Getting data is very expensive and loses you money. Do you like losing money? Probably not. So you should probably not waste your money and not let ad agencies waste money on collecting you data that makes you less money. Why would you want to make less money? It's hard enough in e-com as is to make money. Why would you want to optimize your account so that you intentionally make less? Fucking blows my mind. Anyways, so the best way to structure your meta ads in 2024, we're going to cross that out and put it that a little 5, right? The best way to structure them is you're just going to launch new ads as new ad sets, right? So we have ad set number 1, right? And we'll change this because this should be actually the winning ads, okay? So you have your ad set, and this will be winning. We'll say portfolio of winners, okay? So this is maybe not the most intuitive graph to see because it's fully vertical, but essentially the way you want to test a new batch of ads that you have is to, in a CBO campaign, assuming that you already have the portfolio of winners, right? So that's your ad set number 1. Ad set number 2 is going to be the collection of ads that you are testing, right? You can test as many ad sets as you want at any point in time. I personally like to batch test whenever I have the creatives ready. But to be honest, if you have 100 plus creatives, do not test them 10 at a time or 15 at a time. Throw them all in there because, again, by definition of campaign budget optimization, the budget is always going to go to the best performing ad sets. So you don't need to wait for some arbitrary timeline of like, let me test this for 7 days. Just launch everything in there. So if you have 100 ads and you want to batch them, 10 at a time, just launch 9 ad sets. The key here is that you're using CBO, right? That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that you have an ad set in there with proven winning ads. And ideally, these also have the post IDs as well. So you're copying all that social proof and engagement. And as long as you have a CBO campaign and you have one ad set that has your portfolio of winners and all of the ads that you're testing are thrown into the campaign as new ad sets, that is how you test ads. And you determine whether or not an ad is a winner by whether or not it gets spent. Because if it gets spent based on CBO, and that functionally it is always going to give the most preference to the best performing ad sets, then if you launch a new ad set that is getting more spend than your current winners, that means it is a better possible investment for your ad dollars and to improve your overall campaign's efficiency. This is how you can test ads without having to day trade in your ad account, without having to wait for arbitrary time periods that waste your time and cost you more money because you're losing out on time that you could be spending and budget that you could be spending on your winning ads. And it entrusts the determination of which ads are winners and which ads are more likely to generate better outcomes for your business. It gives that to Facebook's algorithm and it removes that from you, which is great because humans are terrible at predicting user behavior. Okay, at least in my opinion, right? Or let me back up. I'll say that I would rather entrust Facebook's ability to predict user behavior than my own because I don't have access. I'm not the algorithm, right? My ability, and if you're doing this more manually, is you're going to go into an account, you're going to look at columns of data, and then you're going to make predictions about what's going to happen next. Literally, we are not deviating that far off from stock trading because we're just making predictions, right? Or we're making educated guesses as to what's going to happen next. So instead, what you want to do is create a CBO campaign, have a portfolio of winners, you launch new ad sets. If they get spend and they improve campaign performance, great. Take those ads, put them into the portfolio, turn off the test ad set and test some more. And to be honest, in my opinion, if you have a CBO campaign, it really doesn't matter. You don't have to transfer into the winner's ad set per se. What matters when you are testing is that you are using the portfolio of winners in a CBO campaign as one ad set, and then all the new ad sets have to compete for spend against that portfolio. Because again, I can't stress this enough, in a CBO environment, the spend goes where the money flows because it's always going to the best possible investment for your ad dollars. If new tests don't get spend, they're not a better investment and they should be going to your winners. And that's great because that means 80 to 90% of the time, your spend is going to go to your best performing ad sets, which means you're going to trim a lot of fat from your account and a lot of negative profit by doing this and structuring your tests in this way. So that's going to do it for this video. That is how you structure tests with Facebook ads in 2025. And again, this is what has allowed me to be able to test and scale this account from 70K a month to 900K a month. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want help with running your Facebook ads and you potentially want to have me do that for you, then there's a link in the first, the first link in the description of this video. Click on that, book a time with me, and we can jump on a call and see if it's the right fit. Otherwise, hope you got a ton of value out of this as always, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.